Hey guys, what's going on? Back in the shop today, messing with a little something else on the motor, and I wanted to show you about the turbos today. I've got a bunch of different turbos here, and I've got one particular one that I want to use, the one you've been seeing sitting on the engine with the green tape on it. It's an HX35, but it had the wrong compressor housing on it, and I wanted to change the compressor housing, and I'm having an issue with that, so I wanted to show you a little bit about it, talk about some of the other turbos. So I've got them all sitting on the bench here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about now. So this is the compressor housing I want to run, because it has the flanged output, which is what I need. This is the compressor housing that was on the turbo when I got it. Now this is supposed to be a new turbo, and it absolutely looks the part. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust from sitting, but no telling how long it sat on a shelf. I did all the painting to the casting when I got it. It was completely clean, no rust, no nothing. So this is the turbo that was on the engine when I got the engine. This is an H1C. Now, while they do look very similar, the difference, the way you can tell an HX35 from an H1C, is the connection of the compressor housing to the center section. If you'll see here, it's got a sheet metal band clamp, and on the HX35 it's got a large snap ring. That's how you tell them apart, just looking at them without looking at the tag. Now, if you look on the tag here, you'll see it says HX35W. This one also says HX35W. Now this one over here, WH1C. So, but a lot of times these tags will be missing. If you look in here, you'll see why I really don't want to run this turbo. I can probably clean that up, and I'm probably going to have to, and I'll show you why in a couple of minutes. So this is, as I just mentioned, an H1C with a HX35 type exhaust housing, a small housing that spools a turbo quick. And now this is an H1C as well. See the band clamp, and notice the tag is missing, but it's got a larger exhaust housing with a T4 connection, and I'll show you the difference there. See T4 versus T3, it's a way bigger pattern, larger ports. This is for an 8.3 liter on a 5-ton. This is just another thing. One of my buddies wanted to get it out of his shed, and he's like, here, take it. I don't want it. Take it. Now, the reason I wanted to run this housing instead of this one is specifically just because of the flanged output, because I need to be able to run this boost elbow to plumb my intercooler. Now, you can use, or I can use either this Ford style boost elbow or a Dodge style. It doesn't matter. The Dodge is more of a 90-degree elbow, but it is a little smaller output. I think this is a 3.5, where the Dodge is a 3. Let me see if I can find that over here real quick. I don't know where I put it, but I know it's around here somewhere. I don't know. There it is. So, you see, it's still got a good O-ring in it, and actually this, I guess this wouldn't be a Dodge one because it came off of an industrial engine. So, but if you compare them, I don't know. Maybe it's a 3-inch versus a 3 1/4. I don't know. I haven't measured them, but it doesn't really matter. I need to be able to run a boost elbow. That's the point. So I needed to change that compressor housing onto the new turbo. This one, like, the wastegate is locked up and all that. So I'd need to do a lot of work to this to run it. And the H1Cs are not as robust as the HX35. The bearings and seals and all that in them are not as heavy duty. So here's the thing. I spent like an hour last night, hour and a half, cleaning this cleaning the grease off of it, taping it up, bead blasting it, taking a Dremel and cutting all the loose-ish flashing that was still on the casting out, which, if you look at this one, it's actually nicely done. There's no roughness anywhere. This one had nastiness all around it. Little bits that looked like they were just going to fall off, so I cleaned it up. Blasted it, taped it, painted it. Took my time with it. Made it look nice. As you can see, that looks good, right? So I do all that, and I come over here, and I take the snap ring off, which is always a little bit of a fight, but not too big of a deal. And you see this compressor wheel turns nicely in there, right? So I pull that off. Okay, cool. I turn it over, and I'm like, holy shit. This is supposed to be a new turbo, but I know, or I'm fairly certain, that Hulset would not let that pass QC if that was machining. I mean, those are some really deep grooves. So I'm thinking that this turbo is actually a remanufactured turbo, and it had a failure, and they did some machining to it to open it up, and they put a larger compressor wheel from an HX40 on it. And the reason I say that is I took this compressor housing, set it on here, and yeah, no bueno. It doesn't fit. It sits on the compressor wheel. So if we compare these side by side and we look carefully, and you look at, you can see where I was turning it before with the camera off. You see where the turbine wheel is rubbing right on the edge there, the light spot. Now, if you look at the distance from the light spot to the edge here, and you come over here and you look at the distance here to here, it's a much smaller space here, which means this has in fact been machined out larger, but they couldn't go big enough to cut all of that out. So if I want to run this, I'm going to have to send this out and get it machined out to this size for an HX40 compressor wheel, or figure out something else, make an adapter, or get an aluminum flange like this and get it TIG welded onto here like some other guys do. I don't like that. I'd rather just run the proper housing, but it'll come down to what that takes, what it costs, and how long it takes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I may pull this off, clean it up, see if I can clean up some of the nastiness in all of this. I don't know. It may look worse than it is, but I really don't want to run that on a good motor. So it's just a pain in the ass. It's like everything that I'm doing with this swap has got to be a problem some way or another. It's always something. Like it'd be nice if something could just go together and be put on instead of stupid little shit like that. You know, it's annoying. And actually, I'm just seeing now they're a little different height there. I wonder if they're a different ratio, I don't know. I don't know as much about these turbos as like the old multi-fuel turbos and stuff. So yeah, I mean they're quite a bit different. Both HX35Ws, I know the assembly number is different. Serial number shouldn't matter, but I don't know. 4039631. Yeah, but I know this came off of a Dodge truck for sure. Anyway, and I know this is industrial, so you know, people like talk about the AR and all of that stuff. I really don't understand that. I think that's just to do with the compressor housing or the turbine housing. But all I see on this one is TVS and an 11, a B12. On this one, NX20. So maybe that's what matters as far as, like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. I just know the shit doesn't fit, and it's irritating, and I got to do something about it. So, look, if any of you guys know what the deal is with this, if you got some helpful insights as to what I might be able to do with it, I don't know. I know I don't want to downsize the compressor wheel, because then I'll have to change this back plate again, and those parts aren't cheap. So, and why? They're perfectly good. Anyway, look, thanks for watching, guys. I'm kind of frustrated with this, if you couldn't tell, and I just wanted to kind of show you what I'm going through, and this is another hang up, so this is going to push the finish date on this off even more. You know, if you found this helpful, please like the video. It helps when I get more likes on the video to get, like, it out there in suggested videos for other people. Subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, this is an interesting project. It's something I've never done. So, catch you later. Appreciate it.